Hello, friends. The 887th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. In the Pokrovsk direction, the situation for the Ukrainian armed forces is not improving and continues to be a crisis. In recent days, the Russian Defense Ministry announced the capture of the settlements of Prowers, Yevhenii, Lozivetsky, and Vovchi. The battalion commander of the 47th Brigade Shershin, call sign Genius, confirmed the loss of the settlements of Prowers and Vovchi on Saturday. At the moment, Prowers is not ours, Vovchi is not ours. I cannot say that this happened because of one factor. This is a question of personnel training, understanding of management principles, the amount of ammunition and equipment. This is the competence of officers, management personnel. This is the motivation of people. Unfortunately, this is war, he said. Earlier, Ukrainian military telegram channels reported the loss of these settlements in the Pokrovsk direction, but Ukraine did not officially confirm this. Meanwhile, between Vozvidenka and Lozivetsky, the enemy has consolidated its positions along a forest belt in an area up to 1.83 kilometers wide. South and east of Yevhenii, enemy assault groups are pressing in the direction of the village. The eastern part of Vesely has come under enemy control, where the fighting has shifted to the central part of the village. North of Yevhenii, Russian troops have advanced along the railway and several forest belts in a section up to 1.8 kilometers wide to a depth of 650 meters. In other words, east of Pokrovsk, Russian troops are advancing more intensively than in other sections of the front, and practically on a daily basis. Bild military analyst Julian Rerp noted that the Russians are increasing the speed of their advance in the Pokrovsk sector. I remember how just 4 months ago people laughed at the fact that at this rate the Russians would not arrive in Kiev for another 30 years. At the rate at which they are now advancing east of Pokrovsk, they will need only 2 years. Purely theoretically, of course, he wrote. This is how he commented on a post by Finnish military observer John Helen, who stated that Russia is advancing at a speed of up to 1 kilometer a day. The Washington Post reports that Russian forces have launched an arc of attack in the Donbass in an attempt to seize the town of Pokrovsk, a key transit hub. Russian forces are currently advancing in an arc of 3 key points: Chasiv Yar, Toretsk, Yevhenii. The offensive comes amid a shortage of soldiers in the Ukrainian armed forces. After an influx of American weapons and money helped Ukraine contain an invasion of the Kharkiv region in May, Russian commanders have turned their attention back to the Donetsk region, perhaps Putin's main territorial target, the newspaper reports. The repeated invasion of the Kharkiv region has brought Russia limited benefits, but it has also diverted Ukrainian resources. Alexander, a battalion commander with the 47th Brigade fighting in the Yevhenii area, said Ukrainian forces are struggling. The Russian strategy is smart. You try to concentrate the enemy's forces in one direction and then distract them in another. Their first goal is to destroy us. The second is to push us, so that they can gain more leverage for peace negotiations and more concessions from us, he said. The offensive near Donetsk, as the publication writes, shows a noticeable improvement in the tactics of Russian commanders, who have apparently learned from past mistakes and are now achieving sustainable success. This new push in the Donetsk region is very interesting because it points to a larger change in Russian operational planning. Previously, significant advances were held back by Russian tactical errors. Previously, they simply threw people into long, costly operations. Now Russian operational commanders are learning to conduct simultaneous and complementary offensives and put constant pressure on Ukrainian resources, said Caroline Hurd, an analyst at the American Institute for the Study of War. Ukraine's depleted forces are under pressure, exacerbated by the sweltering summer heat. Ukrainian commanders and soldiers interviewed by the Washington Post cited exhaustion and dwindling resources, including a severe shortage of men. One sergeant, 56, whose call sign is Bart, described the situation as critical, saying there was serious chaos on the front lines. He blamed the chain of command. According to Mikhailo, the commander of a Ukrainian mortar battery fighting in Krasnohorivka, intelligence has revealed that Russia has recently committed significant resources, including infantry and tanks, to an offensive near Donetsk. Last week, Russian forces advanced west of Ocheretuni, forcing back a Ukrainian infantry brigade, holding the line in the village of Prowers. Ukraine's 47th Mechanized Brigade was forced into a chaotic retreat due to a shortage of soldiers. Some of the most intense fighting this summer is currently taking place around Toretsk, where Russia has made significant tactical gains. Commanders and military analysts said the aim of these battles is to break through to Konstantinivka. Some Russian units are also moving west towards Kurahovy. Several Ukrainian commanders noted new Russian tactics using drones and electronic warfare systems. Previously, the Ukrainian armed forces had the advantage and were more effective, but not anymore, says Mikhailo. Ukrainian soldiers also noted an increase in the use of aerial bombs by the Russians, which destroy fortifications and have a demoralizing effect on personnel. Russia is also making another advance on the northern outskirts of Krasnohorivka. Most of the city, according to the deep state map, is already under Russian control. In this context, a scandal has arisen in the 80th Airborne Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, which is fighting in Krasnohorivka. Kyiv decided to remove the brigade commander Ishkilov, but his subordinates published a video in which they appealed to Zelensky with a demand not to dismiss the brigade commander. Why are commanders who enjoy undisputed authority unpopular with the top leadership of the Ukrainian armed forces? Because they are not afraid to voice problematic issues and report on the real state of affairs. And they do not mindlessly put people to sleep while waiting for orders, the military says in the video. According to the Deep State Telegram channel, the probable reason for the dismissal is a refusal to carry out a task that was obviously impossible. After the appeal, the command of the Airborne Assault Forces stated that Ishkilov was not punished but was promoted, considering the invaluable combat and command experience of this officer. By decision of the military leadership, Colonel Ishkilov will be appointed to the highest position. This will allow him to apply his knowledge, skills and leadership qualities acquired in planning and organizing military operations, already on the scale of the Airborne Assault Forces of Ukraine, the command of the Airborne Forces said. The soldiers' accusations that the command is pushing aside the commander because he does not want to allow high losses were not commented on in the response. The Telegram channel of the 46th Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine writes that, unfortunately, our brothers inform us that the occupiers have crossed the land part of the canal in the north of Chasiv Yar and entered the Novi microdistrict. In addition, due to strong resistance, the Russians are forced to attack on a broad front much further north. In the Kalinivka area, counterattacks are continuing to regain positions, the Telegram channel reports. Friends, this channel exists solely thanks to your support. If you have the opportunity and desire to support the channel, I will be very grateful to you. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.